The rain-slicked sidewalk outside the old Brooklyn High School reunion hall gleamed under the streetlights as I, Ruby, stood frozen, my heart pounding like a trapped bird. Freak, the word spat from Jake's lips. The same bully who'd tormented me through senior year. Now a balding insurance salesman with a beer gut. But his sneer unchanged. His buddies laughed, circling closer, the stale whiskey on their breath mixing with the damp city air. I backed up, the world blurring, until she stepped in. Pearl. My Pearl. Shoved through the crowd. Her voice cutting like a knife, back the hell off. Or I'll make sure everyone here knows what a coward you really are. The laughter died. She grabbed my hand, pulling me away, her touch a lifeline in the chaos. That night replayed in my mind as I woke up in our cozy Queens apartment. The morning sun filtering through the blinds, casting golden stripes on the rumpled sheets. Pearl was already up, humming softly in the kitchen, the sizzle of eggs and the rich aroma of coffee pulling me from bed. I patted over in my oversized tee, wrapping my arms around her waist from behind. She leaned back, her head resting against mine, a quiet sigh escaping her lips. "Morning, love," she murmured, her voice warm like the steam rising from the mug. But beneath it, I felt the tremor, the unspoken weight of last night's confrontation. We'd met 5 years ago, back when I was still raw from the bullying that had scarred my teens. Small-town Ohio had been hell, the whispers in the halls about my weird art sketches. The shoves in the locker room because I didn't date boys like everyone expected. Dyke, they'd scrawl on my notebooks, the ink bleeding like wounds. I fled to New York after graduation, chasing graphic design gigs in cramped studios, hiding my heart behind pixelated screens. Pearl was different. She crashed into my life at a Brooklyn coffee shop, spilling her latte on my laptop during a rainstorm. "Oh God. I'm such a klutz," she'd laughed, her blue eyes sparkling under wet lashes. She was a high school teacher, mid-20s like me, with that effortless Midwestern charm transplanted to the city, born in Chicago, raised on deep dish pizza and Cubs games, now molding young minds in a public school where she fought for inclusivity programs. Apologies turned to conversation, then dates. Our first kiss happened under the High Line's blooming cherry trees, the distant honk of taxis fading as her lips met mine, soft, tentative, then fierce. She tasted like hope, like the vanilla chapstick she always wore. But love wasn't easy. My scars ran deep, I'd flinch at loud voices, second-guess every compliment. "Why me?" I'd whisper in the dark, my fingers tracing the curve of her back. Pearl would pull me closer, her breath steady against my ear. "Because you're you, Ruby. Brave, talented, with a heart that lights up rooms, even if you don't see it yet." The mouthwash peaked last summer, during Pride Month. We'd marched together in Manhattan, rainbow flags whipping in the wind, the crowd's cheers a symphony of acceptance. But back home, my estranged family called, Mom's voice crackling over the phone, laced with disapproval. "This phase, Ruby? It's not you." The words hit like punches, echoing the old taunts. I spiraled, shutting Pearl out, burying myself in freelance work until my eyes burned. One night, thunder rumbling outside our window, I snapped. Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm just broken. Pearl's face crumpled, tears streaking her cheeks. She paced the living room, the floorboards creaking under her bare feet. "No, Ruby. They're wrong. But if you push me away, you'll lose the one person who's always had your back." Her voice broke, a sob catching in her throat. I froze, the rain pattering against the glass like accusations. That fight stripped us bare. We sat on the couch till dawn, unraveling the pain, my bullying nightmares, her own quiet battles with conservative colleagues who side-eyed her rainbow lanyard at school. "I stand up for those kids every day," she said, her hand squeezing mine, the calluses from grading papers rough yet comforting. "Because I see you in them. And I won't let the world dim that light." We made love that morning, slow and tender, the city awakening around us with the distant rumble of subways and the scent of fresh bagels from the bakery below. It was a turning point, raw and real, like those Netflix dramas where characters confront their demons in dimly lit apartments, the camera lingering on tear-streaked faces. Months later, at that cursed reunion, Pearl's defense wasn't just words, it was armor. As we drove home in our beat-up Honda, the Brooklyn Bridge's lights twinkling like stars, she gripped the wheel, her knuckles white. "I hate that they still get to you," she said softly, glancing over. I reached for her hand. intertwining our fingers. But you don't let them. You're my shield, Pearl. She smiled. A weary but genuine curve of her lips. The radio playing some old Springsteen tune about redemption. Now, as we sat at our tiny kitchen table, forks clinking against plates, I felt the depth of it all. Life in America wasn't a fairy tale, bullies grew up but didn't always change. Families clung to outdated views, and love demanded fight. But Pearl taught me resilience. She volunteered at LGBTQ+ youth centers, dragging me along until I started leading art workshops, helping kids sketch their stories, their pain turning to power on paper. One crisp autumn day, we walked through Central Park, leaves crunching underfoot, the air crisp with apple cider from a vendor's cart. "Marry me," Pearl said suddenly, dropping to one knee on the Bethesda terrace, a simple silver ring glinting in the sunlight. Gasps from passers-by, the fountain spray misting our faces. My yes was a whisper, then a shout, echoing off the arches. We weren't just surviving, we were thriving. Two women forging a path in a world that tried to break us. In the end, after years of shadows, Pearl stood not between me and the world, but beside me, our hands linked, facing it together. Love wasn't a barrier, it was the bridge.